Hello. This might be a reasonably quick one today because I haven't got a lot written down, and it's always a bit quiet over the weekend in public view. So, my next scarf has turned up from China, so you might see me sporting this around the supermarket. That will be the highest it goes. And I was watching a Mark Atwood, the Abracadabra Code with Juicy and Lucy and JC, and they said the PDF for homemade hydroxychloroquine. Am I allowed to say that word? I've said it. The PDF for that, how to make it at home yourself, is in sections parts 3 and 4, and I looked at the website and it said if you want it, it's $20. Now I thought, I ain't doing that because I don't like people charging for stuff when they're giving things away, and in this great awakening we all need people to awaken together and have all the information readily available. So I don't really like that. So I started watching part 3 and Mark Atwood came on. I mean, they keep going off track. They keep talking about Benny Hill and all sorts of stuff, so it's quite amusing listen. But Mark said at the start, anyone that wants the PDF to make it yourself at home, and it's pretty simple, there it is, you can buy for it, because this is not going to him, it's going to these two people that have done it, you know, so fair enough. But he said, for anyone that can't afford it and would like it, please send me a personal email and I will send it to you for free. So, because he did that, I told him I was going to pay for it. So I've bought it, it cost me £15, and I bought myself a very cheap slow cooker. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, but I'm one of these people that I don't like things turned on in the house if I'm out. But that's on the worktop now with 4 litres of water, 4 grapefruit and 4 lemon skins. And what's left in there is the, well, 3 lemons, 3 grapefruits, none of the pith or rind or anything. And some natural local honey. Cool, that's nice, that is. That's like limoncello without the booze. And another thing, honey. If you like honey, make sure you go to a local farmer and get it sourced properly, because we learnt in the past that 75% of supermarket honey has no goodness in it whatsoever, really. It might taste nice, but in all this pasteurisation and cooking and readying it for the supermarket shelves process, it takes all the goodness out of it. So, especially if you buy Manuka honey from the supermarket, I think there's only one real good type of that, so don't be fooled what you're getting. I get mine from when I go cycling, I always see signs, honey for sale, so I went out in my car one day and I went around 5 different places and got a jar of honey from each, and I tried them all out, and I've got one that I really like, and if you want to know where it is, ask me and I'll let you know. So yeah, that PDF to make this HCQ or homemade quinine is about 20 pages. I will send it to you for nothing if you watch Jews News and you'd like it. Okay, right, I've just got a few things written down here. Trump, on Thanksgiving, Trump made his speech from that little desk. It's quite funny really that how he sat at this little thing, but he spoke for about 44 minutes. Pretty much all the mainstream channels hid it away. I think PBS showed it. I didn't want you to see it, but he directly addressed on Zoom calls. He went to the Air Force, he went to the Navy, he went to the Army, he went to the Coast Guard, etc., etc. And he addressed all those forces, saying thank you for the great work you're doing and everything out there, and happy Thanksgiving. And John D'Souza spoke about that, and he basically said that this was getting ready. This was a call to action, and we think things are going to be going down. Also, if you watch the Monkey Works, Air Force One and Air Force Two were up in the air a couple of days ago. It might have been Saturday. I know he went to. I think it was the day before that. It wasn't, because he went and did a speech in Georgia, Trump. And it wasn't that night, so I think it was the day before. It might have been Friday or something. But yeah, Monkey Works was sort of saying he thinks that was a trial run for something. Those birds both being up, and there's so much. He said he saw 12 C-130s, I think they are. So that's either troop movement, or carrying a lot of stuff, all in the line, all to certain places. Is it about to go down? Well, I think so. Yeah, John D'Souza was talking about AG Barr, which I've got written on my list, but I can't remember why. Now, I think, obviously what Charlie Freak says about Jeff Sessions coming back, because Rudy Giuliani has got the COVID now, hasn't he? So they've taken him out of the way for a purpose. Now, Charlie Freak says Jeff Sessions is coming back, who threw himself under the bus for the plan right at the start of all this. And this was all this war between Sessions and Trump at the start of it, to make it look like they weren't friends. So that's, it's all eyes on there, isn't it? But with this AG Barr thing, there's a lot more to it. As soon as something happens, obviously loads of people start throwing their toys at the pram. Oh, it's deep state and all that. But I personally am waiting to see, because I don't know. I'm not sure he is. Trump and the White Hats have now got, well, they've probably had some for quite a while, haven't they? But they have got some of the Dominion machines from one of these battleground states, I think, and they've proved now that they were been passing ballots through these things, and it was shaving stuff off Trump and giving it to Biden. So a Trump vote, Trump was only getting 0.87%, and Biden was getting 1.13% when these votes were going through. So I'm not sure if they showed it on the TV that night, but you can't have 136,425.7 votes, can you? Or 0.13 votes. So I think people did see that occurring on some of the stuff I've seen, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, this is what they found out. So, well, it's all coming out, isn't it? There's a lot of people worried at the moment that this vax is coming out in the UK. I wouldn't have it. I'm not telling you what to do. There's no way they're sticking anything in me. But I don't think it's coming anyway. Charlie Freak gave a warning to the police in his last thing. He basically said that when the truth starts coming out, I was just doing my job, will not cut it. So, we are all in this together, aren't we? We are. If you're not deep state, on the wrong side, you're a good guy, aren't you? Or good girl. So, we've got to take care and look after each other, and bring in this beautiful planet full of love of love. Yeah, so I've done that. Quinine, I've spoke about that. Sessions, Rudy with the hydroxychloroquine. Well, they're probably putting him on that anyway. He might make another appearance in a couple of days going, blimey, I'll be doing one arm push-ups, one finger, I'm having it, yes! So, that's holding my sleeve, by the way. An upside down number. Got all on there, how's that go? Yeah, rubbish. I've got nothing else to say there. I don't think I was going to do a Zoom with this one, but I just want to get it out of the way really. PC screen. I want you to have a look at this because this is highly important. This is what the truthers have been telling you. You know, none of us knew what was going on, but a month into it, we all had a good idea because we were all watching interviews and people's whistleblowers talking out. And, you know, everyone's still walking around supermarkets and outside with a mask on because they listen to the mainstream media. And it's as simple as that. Trump even said, didn't he? Bit of Newsmax, bit of OAN. What else did he say? There's a few. Jesse Watters, Tucker, few others, Fox and that, but most of it is shit, so don't listen. If you're listening to Piers Morgan, Dr. Hillary getting your news, you're fucked. Anyway, listen to this.
The CDC reveal hospitals have been counting patients who died from serious pre-existing conditions as COVID-19 deaths. One America's Pearson Strike has more, as the CDC counts over 51,000 patients who actually died from heart attacks as opposed to the coronavirus.
The Centers for Disease Control have updated their death counts for coronavirus and reveal yet again that COVID-19 is rarely the actual cause of death among coronavirus patients. According to the CDC themselves, of the 220,000 deaths attributed to the coronavirus, 87,000 of them died from pneumonia and influenza. Another 17,000 died from chronic respiratory diseases, and 26,000 died from respiratory distress syndrome. 44,000 patients died from hypertensive diseases, 23,000 died from heart disease, and a whopping 28,000 died from cardiac arrest and heart failure. Yet all of these, even patients who died from heart attacks, were marked down as dying from the coronavirus. Doctors who spoke with One American News explained that 131,000 patients who are being considered COVID-19 deaths already had life-ending diseases, including cancer, dementia, and even end-stage renal failure. And according to the CDC, again, if you look at place of death, you'll see that some 10,000 patients who died from COVID were on hospice care, meaning they were terminally ill to begin with and were already expected to die. Doctors tell One American News that all of these patients were critically ill and likely died from their pre-existing conditions without any help from the coronavirus. However, they explained that the CARES Act, passed by Congress in March, gives hospitals a 20% bonus on their diagnosis-related group paid for by Medicare. Essentially, that means doctors are being paid to list deaths as coronavirus without any indication the patient's death was actually COVID-related. The 1918 Spanish flu is often used as an example of a comparable pandemic, and perhaps it's more comparable than most people realize, according to the National Institutes of Health and even Dr. Anthony Fauci himself, in a 2008 paper explaining that the majority of deaths during the 1918 and 1919 pandemic were not caused by the influenza alone. Instead, Dr. Fauci says that the vast majority of deaths were caused by bacterial pneumonia. Exactly what the CDC shows we're witnessing again today. The CDC backs these numbers up, explaining that coronavirus itself is responsible for just 6% of all deaths listed as coronavirus related. The other 94% of deaths are due to pre-existing comorbidities, including serious illnesses and advanced age. However, despite this report being officially published by the CDC, so far the mainstream media have completely ignored it, instead continuing to hype a pandemic that seems less dangerous every day.
Yeah, there we go. So, COVID. What's a load of bollocks? So, look at that, trout. So, if you find out you've been walking around the supermarket for the last 6 months, all masked up for the common cold, can't say you weren't warned to do your own investigation. So, we know and we've said, haven't we, that COVID-19 was downgraded from a highly infectious, contagious disease on the CDC website, the WHO website, and the UK government website on March the 19th, 4 days before the first lockdown started in the UK. What does that tell you? Right, this is we ain't got to see any more of that. She's going to have a proper meltdown when someone tells her Trump's president. Now, this is beautiful. This is what we like. Do hummingbirds snore when they sleep? Look at this. This is wonderful.
A scientist in Peru captured this, escaping from the tiny body of a sleeping hummingbird. A high-pitched but unmistakable snore.
That's lovely, isn't it? I love things like that. Lord Mallet Brown again, he's in a lot of trouble. He's one of the most powerful men in the world. Even Soros, other serpents like that. They'll be going down soon. At the moment, Bill Gates decided to erase humanity. Yeah, that's when he got pied in his face, didn't he? Shall we have a look at that?
Police and security guards in Belgium were caught flat-footed today by a cowardly sneak attack on one of the world's wealthiest men. The target was Microsoft chairman Bill Gates, arriving for a meeting with community leaders. Watch what happens when a team of hitmen meet him first with a pie in the face.
Wallop!
Gates was momentarily and understandably shaken, but he was not injured. The hit squad piled on with 2 more pies before one of them was wrestled to the ground and arrested. The others, for at least the moment, got away. Gates went inside, wiped his face clean, and made no comment. He then went ahead with his scheduled meeting. No word on the motive for this attack.
The moment Bill Gates decided to erase humanity, you know, I wouldn't have said that's very far from the truth. You know, if that's true what Charlie Ward said about those 100 people on testing it, I don't know how they've managed to do that though. You know, I know the White Hats are trying to keep everyone safe, but a lot of people want this vaccine anyway, but you offer someone 100 grand to take it. You can offer me 100 million to take that shit. There's some shit up news on this. Yes, that was quite funny. It was Charlie, Colin and their daughter made an appearance, Galactic Greg and Al Pisoni. And I couldn't sleep last night, so I got up about 3 o'clock in the morning, started watching this. Anyway, about an hour in, I started having a right wobble, vibrating and stuff. It's really odd. So I got some toast in me, had a coffee, another coffee, and came back to the computer. About 20 minutes later, Alpa had to go because she felt really unwell. I spoke to my other mate, Sabby, this morning in Italy, and she had a bad night as well. So I don't know what that's about, but we're definitely, a lot of people are feeling sort of ascension, awakening sort of symptoms and stuff. So look at this. This is one of the Anons on the boards posted this. He didn't post it on Twitter. It was someone took it off the board. POTUS doesn't even have to say anything and it gets fact checked. Keck, what the hell? If you don't know what keck means, that's pole language for LOL. Shut a bit nice and early. That's the Abracadabra code, part 1. I'm on part 3 of that now. This is where I got the recipe from for the homemade HCQ. So, like I say, if you'd like it from me, you can have it. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, this was, I was mentioning it, wasn't I? I wrote all this out. No, I didn't. I wrote this tweet out. Oh, basically, I wrote that tweet out. And how many characters did I have left to use? 17. So, I wrote out another one, and another 17. So I wrote out another one, and I finished it, and that had 17 as well. So, there's not many directions I can look at the moment where I don't see one. There's a lot of people here that think Biden's going to be president. I'm going to be a bit upset. Getting a total pass from the media. What's this? Let's have a listen to Trumpingtons.
Well, now we call it the fake news and suppression news. I use the word suppression because now they got a new thing going. This happened since Hunter. Because we were killing him on Hunter, you know, stealing money from every country. He was a human vacuum cleaner. And it was hurting them badly. So all of a sudden, big tech, together with their partner, the Democrats, and their partner, the fake news media, they decide, under no circumstances will we ever talk about it again. So you have 95% of the media, you could have them be Jesse James and walk into the bank with a gun, hold them up, give me all your money, and they won't talk about it. And it's hard to have a scandal if they don't talk about it. Other than the New York Post and people like Sean Hannity and people like Laura, and Tucker is doing good. I like Tucker lately. And our friends in the morning, and I tell you, we have some great new people, OAN, Newsmax, and Judge Janine, she's on, right? She's on tonight. And Jesse Waters is great, and Pete Hexa. And I'm in trouble because I don't mention everybody, but we have great people. We have a great voice, but the fact is, most of the press was suppressed, so that no matter what, they wouldn't talk. And it was incredible. And I have to give a lot of credit to Carl Allen and the New York Post for what they did, because they went out and they fought them, and they fought them hard. Oldest paper in America, 4th or 5th biggest, and they should be very proud of themselves.
You know, I've heard people say, oh, I hate it in America, I don't want to know anything about any of that crap because Trump treats it like a circus and all that. Oh, well, he doesn't. He's been telling you the truth for 4 years, and the media have done everything they can to make him look bad and hide the truth. So this is why he, you know, treats it like a circus and stuff like that, because you've got to wake people up and you've got to keep people entertained while you do it. That man's dealt with so much in the last 4 years, you ain't going to believe it. Gina Hester. Right, let me just read this. Clarification on Haspel's death. Well, I don't think that's right. Who was this? This is from Anonymous. I've verified that Gina Haspel is in the Witness Protection Programme under another name and details. She's out the CIA. This witness protection is the same kind of deal that Epstein made. They both get new names, new identity, and both of them have to serve prison sentences. They are in prison. The name Gina Haspel is probably legally dead, but there is no confirmation on that. However, she is alive and in prison. She's agreed to work for Trump. She has rolled over on many, many people. She rode over on Obama and Biden. Not that will do any good because both of them are dead already. The Obama and Biden double has been arrested for frauds because they were pretending to be Obama and Biden to make people still think they were alive and making statements from the deep state. Complete fraudulent puppets. She has proven the voter fraud with the servers she was protecting. The election will be overturned. Now, that's from Anonymous, so don't take that from gospel, but I like to report as much as I can from others. Right, this is only going. Let's have a bit of Rudy because he's got the lurgy, hasn't he? Apparently, or has he?
I wonder why the confusion about what happened. They stole the election. Not the first one they stole, not the last one they're going to steal unless you do something about it. But you do something real, not, let's see how we're going to fix it. You've been fixing it for years, and it hasn't gotten fixed. They've been stealing elections for years, and this time they got a chance to steal it really big because of the ridiculous mail ballot that was created. Back in 1960, the mayor of Chicago, the most corrupt city in America, by the way, just in case, on all the lists, by far, we can all feel better. Chicago's the most corrupt. He helped to steal the 1960 election by holding back the ballots in Chicago so the Republican ballots would come in, and then along with a gentleman named Sam Giancana, they got the ballots they needed to elect their candidate. Last year, 2 years ago in Florida, the same thing happened in Palm Beach and Broward County. It was a two-point election, Senate, governor. Palm Beach County took 2.5 weeks to report. And finally it ended when they caught a truck like the one coming from Bayport, New York to Philadelphia. They caught a truck in Jacksonville headed to Palm Beach with 100,000 ballots that pretended to be Palm Beach ballots, but they were done up in Jacksonville. And then they had to end the election, and they prosecuted the people in Palm Beach. And remember, this year, we had no problem in Florida. I mean, you were counting for an eternity. Florida was over with that night because the governor had the courage to straighten it out. He had the courage to prosecute the people who committed the fraud. You don't end fraud by prospective measures to deal with fraud. You know how you end fraud? You put criminals in jail. That's how you end fraud.
Exactly that. The swamp is deep, and it has been in control for a very long time. Jan, I'm draining the swamp, Jan. Yes, sir. Look at Elden Wood here. He doesn't mind making statements, does he? Brian Kemp, Brad Raffensperger, Jeffrey Duncan, Gabriel Sterling. Remember names. They are all going to jail. They are all complicit in foreign interference with national election. They will be joined by many others. To those threatening me, stop wasting your time. I am Felis. L. Lion. L. in Wood. This is all a few of the drops here, all the links put together. You can all do. This is right. Yeah. Here we go. This is. Do you remember all this from the start? This is put. Remember these clips? In hindsight, given what we know now about the real lethality of COVID, it's very obvious that these videos were shot initially by actors designed to install fear into the world to justify lockdowns and destroy our economy. Deep state propaganda. Oh yeah, that's what I do. If I'm dying, I'll wait till I get down, put my hands there to break my fall. Let's have a look at that again. Hold up a minute. There goes your hands, look. Oh, beauty. Didn't look like he was going to do that on the initial bit of a fall, did he? God, they were close, weren't they? Look at this. You got this geezer on the floor here, all these people in hazmat suits or whatever like that. And this bird here is going, what's going on then? What's happening? Look. Well, you don't have to be a brain surgeon, do you? So have a look at a few clips like this. This is Beauty Malone. She's a beautiful lady. Red dress, zebra shoes. Zebra, zebra, bring the thunder. That was 829. Right, zebra, zebra, bring the thunder. Oh, well. That is military chatter. I don't understand it. I understand zebra, zebra, bring the thunder though. Robert F. Kennedy. Listen. You've got to. If you won't listen to a 3-hour interview with any of these people, you're kidding yourself if you really seriously think you're going to have an injection.
Coronavirus. Tell us about it.
Government's been trying for almost 30 years to develop a coronavirus vaccine, and it's been unsuccessful. And beginning in 2002, there were 3 outbreaks of coronavirus, we call them SARS at that point, in MERS. The first SARS was a natural illness that jumped from a bat to human beings. The second 2 were lab-created that had escaped and infected human beings. And so the governments of China and a consortium of Western governments all got together and put millions and millions of dollars into an effort to develop a coronavirus vaccine. And between 2002 and 2012, or 2014, they worked very hard to do that. And what happened is they developed about 35 vaccines, and 4 of them were really promising. They chose the 4 most promising, and they gave them to ferrets, which is the animal that is most analogous to human beings when it comes to upper lung respiratory infections. The ferrets had a brilliant, robust, and durable antibody response, but then something horrible happened. And those ferrets were challenged when they were exposed to the wild virus. They got horribly sick. They got inflammation throughout their bodies, and they died. And the scientists remembered that something very similar had happened in the 1960s, where they had developed a vaccine for RSV, which is very similar to coronavirus. It's an upper respiratory infection ailment. They had skipped the animals and given them directly to 35 children. And the children, again, had developed a very robust antibody response. But when those children were exposed to the wild virus, they got very, very sick, much sicker than unvaccinated children. And 2 of those kids had died. It was a scandal. And they realized when the same thing happened with the ferrets, that there was something that they called enhanced immune response. It's also called pathogenic priming. And what it means is that when you get the vaccine, it appears that you have an antibody response, but when you actually encounter the wild virus, this hurts you a lot more than with unvaccinated people. So this was 2012. In 2014, NIH, under Fauci, developed a dengue vaccine, which had some signals in it that there was pathogenic priming. In other words, in the clinical trials, they saw some signs that you could get an antibody response but get much sicker when you were exposed, but they ignored them. They gave it to the Philippines, and they gave hundreds of thousands of children this vaccine, and when the dengue came around, those children became horribly ill, and 600 of them died. And in the Philippines today, people are being criminally prosecuted for that. So the danger with the coronavirus vaccine is that you really need to test it on animals first to make sure whatever the vaccine is, that we don't get that, that really great immune response followed by lethal infections. And it's very, very strange to me and seems almost criminally reckless that Anthony Fauci is allowing these companies to skip animal trials and to go directly to human trials.
I think if you think about it too, how dangerous, what he's talking about, how dangerous that is. They will say to you, every scientist involved says, we don't know why this antibody immune enhancement reaction is happening. They don't know why it happens. So imagine you have 100 companies right now in this amazing race to make a vaccine that could literally make them about $750 billion if they win it. But what happens if they're testing it on a virus, right? They're going after a specific virus. We now have 30 mutations already of coronavirus, some of them very significant changes in the protein. What happens if you made a vaccine that actually gets over this problem that they know is a problem? Tony Fauci is saying publicly there's a chance that this could make people more sick, so we got to be very careful. What happens if they think they got around it, right? And they put out the vaccine. Bill Gates gets his wish, and Tony Fauci, that everyone's forced to take it around the world. Then all of a sudden a mutation comes around, and we start seeing it trigger this antibody immune enhancement in people that were vaccinated. Only problem now is we've all gotten this vaccine, and now we're not having a 0.1 to 0.3% death rate. It's 20% or 30%. People are having the same issue as the ferrets. You could honestly wipe out our species with a vaccine that was rushed to market, that every article about this vaccine, rushing and science. Wow. Those two words should never be in a sentence together.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Del Bigtree, absolutely brilliant. They've been in all this. And fancy the vaccine, do you? Fucking good luck to you. I ain't. I don't think it come to that anyway. I don't even think there will be a vaccine. You know, and they got them 100 people to do trials and stuff, but that's got to be the nasty one. There's loads of different types, isn't there? I would take it if Donald Trump had it, but then I know it would be like saline, hydroxychloroquine, and a few other beautiful things in there. I think Trump makes calls to the troops. Yeah, I mean, this here, this is 44 minutes long, but
We deployed earlier this summer, and we got underway. We've traveled over 30,000 miles so far since the Atlantic committed.
yeah, he can't hear that very well, but he's talking to all the troops individually. I think that's the same one as where he said, don't talk to me like that, I'm the President of the United States, to one of the journalists. That was a John D'Souza with El Barra. That was quite decent watch. We'll listen to
Barack Obama, when Donald Trump came in as president, said that there were two people that Trump should worry about, Kim Jong-un and General Michael Flynn. How did you get into that distinguished group? And now that you're a free man, why not blow the lid off all of them and tell us what you knew that they didn't want us to know?
I must have put the fear of God into Barack Obama, and probably still do, because of this long, 4-year-long saga that they put me, my family through, President Donald J. Trump and his family, and frankly the entire country, Janine. So, yeah, I mean, I wish somebody would pin him down and ask him what that question is. One of these days I'll lay it out, but pretty amazing for the transition of the United States of America from one president to another. That was the 2 points that President Obama wanted to share with President-elect at the time, Donald J. Trump. Amazing.
But you know, and you can't like give us an idea, an inkling. So many of us were cheering for you. I mean, what was it that why did they want to stop? Why Judge Emmett Sullivan?
Right. President Obama knew that Donald Trump was going to have me in some capacity in his administration, and likely either as a national security advisor or in some other position. So clearly, when he chose me to be the national security advisor, they knew that their little plan of spying on Donald Trump would fall apart, and many other foreign policy blunders that they got our country into, whether it was the Iran deal, issues going on in the Asia-Pacific theater, trade, all sorts of issues that were in play that the last administration did to, frankly, run this country right into the ground. So they knew that those are the types of things that I was aware of, because, I mean, let's face it, Barack Obama appointed me twice. I was Senate confirmed twice.
Right.
During the time I was in the military, and so, you know, it's amazing that that would be what he would focus on during the transition for the United States of America. It's outrageous, actually.
Piece of shit. Not you, General Flynn, or you, Jeannie. the other one. A little something that's been weighing on my mind to do. That was Trump live. That's an hour and 47 minutes. That long. Yeah, his monkey works. He was talking about that. He talks in code. They don't get it. Yeah, no, we all get it. Because if you want to watch Kellyanne Hubb decode the Trump drops and Trump tweets and drops, that's what monkey works said. That's all those C-130s. 12 ships, C-130s. Get a lot of cargo on there or troops. But then they all disappeared. He found out how to do something. Then he managed to track one of them. But yeah, they all went black, as he says. If you didn't, the only way is the military. Tippy top. Now, how long is that? Is that the 44? Yeah, that's that. Now, with that tippy top as well, the Anons on the board, they're always asking Trump to do things and all of that. And they said, you know, we want you to put the words tippy top in your speech. I think I've spoken about this before. Anyway, he used it again on Thanksgiving. Everything is tippy top. Tippy top. And that's where we got to there. Yeah, so I've showed you all that. Yeah. Right, I'm going to have a quick look at Parliament because I'll get a bit of different info on now. Sometimes, message from Charlie Co. Oh no, that's me, isn't it? Let's go, mate. Joan got suspended again on Twitter. China whistleblower steps forward, reveals videos, photos, ballot printing. I don't do a lot in here. Dominion advisor met with John Podesta offering anything that would help defeating Trump, according to email released by WikiLeaks. Julian will be back soon, won't he? He's probably had a nice shave and everything now. Monkeys on it. Hold the line, DJT. Yeah, this is Twitter restricts Flynn's attorney's account. Yeah, Sidney Powell. They've restricted her account. They're constantly fact checking and putting labels on the Trump tweets. So, are we getting ready for the tweet? I don't know. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. There I am. Let's go to my favourite screen. There we go. So, stop recording. I like it when it says that. So, yeah. There we go. That's a little update today. What do you do? When life gives you lemons, make HCQ. Cheers.